there was a lawsuit. I meant to have this on the show one day, and we never got to it. But there was somebody was suing Fox News for something, and maybe they were suing CNN too. I think it was Fox News in this particular case. But I feel like I remember reading. Please don't quote me on any of this. This is all strictly hearsay. But I remember Fox was being accused of misreporting something. And basically, their defense was, we are an entertainment network.
No.
That was the defense that they used. And I want to say that CNN, like the article was saying that CNN has also used this defense in lawsuits previously. Yeah.
Those are terrible defenses. So did they get away with that? Did that defense hold up?
Yes. Yeah.
How is that possible?
Because it is. Like, that's the thing. Like,
but they're not. They're news. It's in their name. Fox News.
Here's what people don't delineate. And I think that we'd be a lot better off as a society if we had this distinction that when you sit there behind a news desk and there's a guy and a girl for the most part, and they're wearing the typical news person outfit, and they're reading a story, and it goes to the other person, and they're reading a story, and it goes to the other person, and they're reading a story. That's a newscast. What Hannity, Don Lemon, Laura Ingraham, and Wolf Blitzer do is not a newscast. That's an opinion. What Frank just said, that's an opinion show. That is entertainment. Yes, it's news, but I feel like ever since The Daily Show took off, and started pulling numbers away from Fox News and CNN, those guys had to come towards the center and meet the Daily Show in the middle and start doing their own sort of entertainment-y. Yeah.
The problem is the fact that they have to compete with entertainment shows. They shouldn't have to compete with entertainment shows. There should be like a news hour where all it's playing is news.
The problem with that is most news, nobody really, it's not that interesting. And also, ratings wise, doesn't do all that well. You remember now, all right, Larry King just died.
They shouldn't operate under a ratings thing. They should just be, this is the news. There shouldn't be ratings for the news.
There is.
There should just be the news.
There is, though. Larry King just died over the weekend, right? And he had a CNN show for the longest time. For the longest time, that was their little break from the news. That was their little bit of entertainment.
He was not nobody considered him to be a news guy.
Because there was the hour. It was like news. We take a break for Larry King. Now it's the opposite. It's the complete opposite. Like now the actual legitimate times on both Fox and CNN that you can find an actual legitimate broadcast, a news broadcast, is minuscule. You got Brett Baer on Fox and him and the girl, I forget her name. On CNN, you got, I don't even know who does it anymore. Because as soon as like Erin Burnett comes on, like that's it. You're off to the opinion races. And it's no longer about factual information as much as it's about this is what happened and here's our angle on it. We've flip-flopped. And the reason why is because here's what happened. They would do the news. You would check in to see the news. So you'd watch for like 15 minutes and you basically got whatever you needed to do, right? When something would break, they would have these huge numbers. So what happened? They started the crawl. They started with the swooshery do's, a lot more breaking news stuff. Every time breaking news was the O.J. Simpson verdict. Then all of a sudden,
everything's breaking news.
Anytime a Real Housewife got into an argument, that was the breaking news. So
everything.
They just kind of went into this thing of trying to keep those numbers up all the time and compete. And that's how we got to non-news.
There should just be, this is a weird line to walk here, but what I want to say is government funded, but not controlled news. So they don't have to compete for advertising.
That's PBS. Value. Well, you know this because of your time in radio. You get a radio station. You have to legally. You are obliged to provide airtime for public affairs. Every radio station has
Sunday
to have,
morning, 4 a.m.
if you want to keep your license, you need to provide public affairs programming. And
Early
exactly
Sunday
what
morning,
Frank just
not
said.
the best time for radio.
Yeah.
FYI.
They found the least, the time that people listen to the radio least, and they stick the public affairs programming there. And by the way, how long is the public affairs programming usually, Frank?
Well, like an hour a show.
Maybe an hour. Usually a half hour, maybe an hour. So out of the entire, how many hours are in a week? They give you 1 hour Sunday at 5:30 in the morning. That's basically what happens.
Enjoy.
And so it's the same thing for cable and TV, and they don't have to do more than that. They do the bare minimum, and the rest of the time is theirs to do whatever they want.
It should be like 10-10 wins. It's 24 hours news, and it's just people reading the news. It's not the opinion show here and this opinion show there. It should just be two people. This is what happened. Here's a clip of what happened. Here's a clip of what happened. This is what the president said. This is what the vice president said. 24 hours of that. Yeah, it's not going to be entertaining, but if you want straightforward news, which everybody seems to be clamoring for,
yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, and as we've talked about, WGN and a couple of outlets are trying to go with that straightforwardy, newsy.
Yeah. Where the hell is that, by the way? Is that out yet?
Yeah. You have to have WGN. I don't know where it is on your.
What the hell is WGN? I don't know.
It used to be like a Chicago. I don't know. They used to run like old Family Feuds with Ray. Who was the guy? Ray Combs.
Ray Combs.
Yeah, they were
before that.
Big into the Ray Combs years.
The guy's name.
Yeah, big into the Ray Combs years of Family Feud. And then they were like, I don't know, maybe we'll try straightforward news. So there are some places where you can get that straightforward news. But going back to my original point, the problem is we would be a lot better off if everybody knew this. And I don't think everybody knows this, because I think people tune in to Hannity and Lemon and Tucker and all these programs thinking I'm going to get my news for the day. And they're just getting, they're really realistically being peddled infotainment. It's entertainment, you know.
I know.